It's just the digging in afterwards, like to get it in there. It's like, oh, not fun. And she has to pull the string. It's not fun. So I have the Skyla IUD currently in my body and I'm cramping like crazy. And so I told myself, you know, I'm just gonna take these pills they gave me, my Motrin, because she asked, do you want some Motrin to help with the cramping? Because that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna cramp after we insert this. I said, yes, have that ready to go. Morning, guys. Hope you guys are having a good day. I am at my doctor's office and just finished getting my annual exam. You know, so much fun. Not so. I currently have the Nexplanon in my arm because I was diagnosed with fibroids a few years ago and PCOS as well at the same time in October 2016 actually. And so I decided to get the implant, the Nexplanon implant in my arm as a form of birth control in March 2017. So I'm coming up on my 3-year mark where I have to get it removed in the next couple months actually. So I decided to talk to my doctor about it. So I'm going to see my OBGYN here. Might as well talk to her about it and see what her thoughts are about other birth control options. And she said to try the IUD. And you know, I started my cycle the day before yesterday. So it was like perfect timing. She's like, it's actually a great timing you came in because your cycle started and it's heavy. That'll make it easier and less uncomfortable to insert the IUD, because that's literally the other option that I have, because I don't want to have estrogen in my body. So when you use the implants like the Nexplanon or IUD, there's no estrogen whatsoever, and that is ideal for people who have fibroids because estrogen can cause your fibroids to get larger over time. So yeah, I wanted to cut that out immediately once I was diagnosed. So Nexplanon has been a crazy journey for me. I will do a whole separate video. Long story short about my Nexplanon experience, I would like it removed because of the fact that my 2nd year on Nexplanon, my cycles were extremely long. So I was bleeding for 30 days. So it would be heavy for like 10 days. And then the last 20 days I was spotting like all over the place. Like, it was insane. I had to wear a panty liner and it was very frustrating because you didn't know when it was going to stop. It was just too intense for me and it lasted a while. Like, it was doing that a couple of times. So it would last 30 days. Then the next month I didn't have anything. And then after almost 25 days later, my cycle started again. It would last for like 29 days or 28 days. So pretty much almost 30 days. And then next time it came on again, it would just pop up sporadically. It wouldn't even wait the 21-day time period that I usually have between my cycles. It would come up again like 10 days later and just start spotting. So I'm like, dang, is this my cycle again? Like, I just had it for a whole month. So it was just doing all of that. Really, really frustrating, very annoying. I can go on and on about it, to be honest. I'm going to make a separate video talking about my Nexplanon experience and the reasons why I got it, of course, because, you know, I have fibroids and PCOS, all of that jazz. I had great reasons for getting it. It was fine. The whole process of it was okay. The worst part was just the shot that numbs your arm. That was the most painful part. But actual procedure was fine. It's just currently it's not working best for me, and it was just so sporadic for me. And honestly, I have very regular cycles. Even when I had birth control pills and even before I got on pills, my cycle has always been regular since I was 11 years old. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm 30 now, so I know my cycle. I know my body. So the Nexplanon was really just jacking it all the way up. It was to the point where it's like, oh, you're giving me signs of PCOS, like symptoms of PCOS, and I have PCOS already. Like, you're making me feel crazy right now. Like, it's just like, it's not the PCOS. It's actually this Nexplanon, because when I was diagnosed in October 2016, I was not taking anything besides birth control pills. So it was just insane to me that now I'm having Nexplanon in my arm, I'm getting all these symptoms of like irregular periods or, you know, all this other stuff that was happening. And I was still getting my periods. It just was random. Like, I would get it every other month. Like, the first year of my Nexplanon, I wasn't getting my period for like 2 months, right? And then I got my period, but it was still like light. Like, it wasn't like crazy. It was heavy first couple days, which is normal for me. And then I got lighter at the end of the week. So I had it for like probably 5-6 days beforehand. Before I got Nexplanon, my usual cycle was just 5 days for my period. And then it starts off heavy first 3 days, gets like medium low on the 4th, and then light for like the last day. And then I'll spot probably a day after. So 6 full days total. But with Nexplanon, it was just all over the place. First year, didn't have a period for 2 months, and it came up, and I was like, oh yay, great, I'm bleeding again. And then it was fine for that first year. And the second year, randomly 30 days. and another month again comes by that I'm still on my cycle. Literally got to the point where by the day 15 hit, I had to literally call my nurse practitioner and tell her like, hey, this is not normal. What's going on with my uterus? Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I need to get this checked. It's not working for me. She told me that was one of the symptoms of Nexplanon, that you can have longer cycles. Like, that's a huge symptom, and a lot of people complain about that. I said, well, damn, if I knew that, I would have looked into the IUD earlier, because, you know, my only thing with IUD is that it seemed very invasive to me. Like, I was very concerned about having something in my uterus. I'd rather have something in my arm, you know, and the people could say, oh, it's the same thing, but your uterus is a very sensitive area, and, you know, having something in there, it is something to think about. Like, it is something that seems kind of scary, thinking about having something down there, and now I have it in there now. But it was a concern for me at first. I said, well, let me try the Nexplanon, and now I know these symptoms are a thing. It was just like, I didn't have those symptoms my first year, so my second year was like a big shocker for me to go through that. Like, it was just a lot of blood, like lots and lots of bleeding. And I'm not anemic or anything. I don't want to become anemic either. So the excessive bleeding was just too much for me. So that is why I'm going through this process with this IUD now. And I am just praying that everything works out really well, that it's a smooth process. I have a new physician that I'm working with who is amazing. My previous one who inserted my Nexplanon was amazing too. So this physician is just as amazing. She's awesome. She's straight to the point, gives me all the information, answers my questions, doesn't rush me, explains things to me, and, you know, showed me what it looked like before inserting it. And it was just a nice process, a good experience, except for the insertion part. Like, that was painful as heck. But, you know, other than that, like, that was very uncomfortable. Obviously labor is way worse. Yeah, duh, but it's not the same. You know, this is just excessive cramping. Like, you're going to be cramping, like, and when she inserts it in there, it's not comfortable. 3-year mark is here. Super excited. It's here in March. It's not here yet, but it's coming. So next month is my follow-up appointment, and I will be able to remove the Nexplanon based on how I feel with the IUD. So I had the IUD inserted today. Today is January 30th or 29th? What is today? It's the 30th, Thursday. So I had my IUD inserted because my doctor recommended to go ahead and get it done, since I'm on my period right now and my cycle's really heavy at the moment. So it was like perfect timing. Apparently it's not supposed to be as uncomfortable. That mess is uncomfortable. So just heads up, imagine it's like having your pap smear at first, because, you know, they put the clamping tool in there, and they insert it in there, and then of course to keep everything open so they can see, you know, inside of your uterus and all that jazz. And then imagine having something, you know, stuck in there, like how they put the Q-tip to, like, you know, swab inside of your uterus or whatever. Yeah, it's just like that, pretty much getting your pap smear done, but even more uncomfortable, because they're sticking the actual implant in there, and the IUD is going in there, and it's not comfortable. She tells you when to cough when she jams it in, and then it's like moving around, and it's not comfortable whatsoever. And it wasn't my doctor. She was very comfortable. Like, inserting it was fine. Like, the whole process of inserting the instrument, that was actually fine. It's just the digging in afterwards, like, to get it in there. It's like, oh, not fun. And she has to pull the string. It's not fun. So I have the Skyla IUD currently in my body, and I'm cramping like crazy. And so I told myself, you know, I'm just gonna take these pills they gave me, my Motrin, because she asked, do you want some Motrin to help with the cramping? Because that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna cramp after we insert this. I said, yes, have that ready to go. So I had 600 milligrams of Motrin, and yeah, hopefully that helps, because, you know, I needed it, because it's very uncomfortable. It's just like cramping afterwards. Once it's done, you just feel heavy cramping. And mind you, when I woke up this morning, I was not feeling the best at 6 a.m. Did not go to the gym, woke up cramping like crazy. So yes, getting the IUD inserted isn't the most comfortable feeling ever. It's like getting a pap smear, but even longer, and pretend somebody's sticking something in there and digging in with a string, and it's just not comfortable. Like, it's a little tiny object that's inserted in there. The tool that they have for it, it's not comfortable. And I'll insert an image of what the Skyla looks like. I took a picture when they brought it out on the table, so I was like, yeah, let me take a picture of this. But yeah, I have that inserted now. I'm cramping like crazy. I'm praying that this will work fine. So I really don't want to have any children anytime soon. And, you know, prevention is key. So I will do what I have to do. Obviously, I'm not taking out my Nexplanon and then being, you know, that being really susceptible to pregnancy. Like, I'm not trying to have no birth control period whatsoever. So I need something. So Nexplanon is the only option, or an IUD. Those are the only two options. IUD or Nexplanon are my only two options. So Nexplanon wasn't the best for me, and I'm not gonna take it out unless I know the IUD is comfortable. So I have a follow-up appointment in a month from now. And so when I come back at the end of February, I'll come back and they'll check the string of the IUD, make sure that it's still in place, see how I've been feeling, my reactions to it, and making sure that, you know, my uterus doesn't reject the IUD. So if everything goes well, I will then get my Nexplanon removed. It'll be removed just a little early, a couple weeks earlier than I needed to, but it's perfectly fine. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. Let's just hope everything goes well. But I just wanted to record this so I could have like a record for myself and to share with you guys if you're going through the process of finding, you know, new birth control options because you may have fibroids or PCOS like myself. So yeah, this is just another option. So I'll let you guys know how it goes in the next month or so. Talk to you soon. Bye. Hey guys, follow up. It was not comfortable getting my IUD installed. Once again, I know I said that in the previous clip from a month ago, but I just had my string checked and everything looks good. I've decided to keep the IUD, and I'm just hoping that I don't have as many sporadic symptoms that I did with my Nexplanon. Currently, I had my IUD installed on the 30th, like I said earlier in the clip, and now it is it's February 29th, a whole month later, and my cycle has started again within those 30 days. So mind you, my period was started 2 days when I got the procedure, the IUD installed, and then literally it stopped 2 days later because of the IUD. Then my period started again on the 21st of February, and it's still going. It's been over a week now, and I'm spotting. So it's looking like I'm getting the same trend as when I had the Nexplanon. So when I had my Nexplanon in my second year, I started having long cycles, like I'm talking about 30 days of just bleeding. So it looks like it's on that route, and I'm hoping it's not. So let's just hope and pray that it doesn't continue. Let's pray that it stops soon. But I talked to the nurse practitioner yesterday when I had the string checked. She said everything's in place. The IUD didn't move. It's in the perfect spot. It looks great. She checked my uterus. She looked in there. Everything looks good. She saw that I was staining. So my cycle has started, but she said it's just staining. So it should be wrapping up soon. It's not reddish as much as it was before. So now it's like a lighter color. So she said it should be ending soon. So it shouldn't be an issue, but to keep that in mind that that's normal for the next 3 to 6 months. Irregular bleeding, spotting, that's going to be normal. So I'm gonna give this a chance and see what happens 6 months from now, and I'll do an update in 6 months for you guys about my IUD. Once again, I had this Skyla installed, and I'm hoping that everything stays well and healthy and strong, and that I don't have to go in there anytime soon before the next 3 years to remove this thing, because it's in there until 2023. So I plan on keeping that in until January 2023. And hopefully at that point I will no longer need birth control. We'll see if I can make it work without it. But yeah, so that's the update on the IUD. Everything feels fine. Only thing that's bad is the random cramping that I'm getting. It's so annoying. I never had this with my Nexplanon. The cramping is insane. It's insane. It literally happens like randomly. I'll just be sitting in my car and then, I start cramping. It happened earlier today when I was leaving my health fair that I was working. So that's just the annoying thing, having random cramps, like that's not comfortable. So the nurse practitioner told me to take 3 ibuprofens every day for the next 2 weeks straight. And after that, if my symptoms of the cramping don't stop, then I need to email her and let her know. And so I'll come back in and like she'll figure out another method for me, because that shouldn't be happening, the cramping at that point. So I'm going to do what she said. I'm taking ibuprofen, which is 3 pills every day for the next 2 weeks straight. I already took my 3 pills. It's 600 milligrams. So if you know, 1 pill is 200 milligrams. So I'm taking 600 milligrams of ibuprofen every day for the next 2 weeks straight. So I'm hoping that it will help and that the cramping will not continue once I go through this ibuprofen overload. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so that was the IUD experience. Hopefully it worked out for me, guys. I'll let you guys know in an update video in the next 6 months to see how it's going, and let's hope and pray I can keep it in for 3 years. I mean, I survived the Nexplanon in my arm, but now it's gone. Got it removed on the 28th, so I'm happy about that. The same day, well, 28th, the same day when I went in to get my string checked. So since everything looked good with my uterus and the IUD was still in place, we went ahead and removed the Nexplanon. So now I have 1 birth control. I don't have 2 in my body now. I just have 1. So I'm very, very thankful for that. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions about Skyla. If you have Skyla, let me know, and let me know any of your symptoms and your concerns that you had during that journey when you had it installed, and are you still using it, and all of that jazz. I know from friends and colleagues, they told me that for the first month, that's like the worst time, but after the first month, it gets better. So I'm hoping this month has gone by, and that I'm hoping that it gets better since I'm gonna be on this ibuprofen for 2 weeks. Let's just pray things get better. Let's just pray. It has to. It just has to. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll talk to you soon, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.